Okay, do we have audio? How will I know? I guess I have to watch my own stream. I've never done this before. Oh no. What did I do? Is my microphone picking up? Can't really tell. Okay, well my browser is back. I want to narrate this, but I don't want to do it if I'm not audible. Alright, I'm going to try this again. It may upset my browser again, but let's see. Testing? Testing? Ah, I hear myself. Ah, I hear myself. Okay. All right, so I'm going to close that tab. All right. Here we go. So, I don't think anybody is here, but maybe somebody will join. Otherwise, it'll just be recorded. Today is Sunday, March 10th. The time is 5:32 p.m. Eastern, and I am running some simulated data and just running. I actually have 27 trade plans running. I'm trading symbols A through Z, and I have SPY also. So each of these is a trade plan. So the symbols A through Z are just made up stocks. Every stock basically starts at $100, and what's going on is that I'm using the strat. Okay, so here we're in a position, and so this is the trade plan that is playing out. So, it's simulated data. It's obviously not the same as market data, but it is still trading the trade plan the same way. So what we have here are all these different trade plans running on different simulated stocks, and every now and then one of them triggers. And the way it triggers is based on a candle pattern, based on Rob Smith's The Strat. May he rest in peace. So you can see that in this case, we will trigger anytime there's a 1-2 or a 3-2 or a 2 down, 2 up, or a 2 up, 2 down. Not very discriminating, because the whole goal here is just to get lots of trading activity. You'll also notice that there's a green outline or there's a white outline. Green outlines are in a trade. And so you can see that, like here, this says armed, but these are either long or short, and there's a quantity here. And then this is the trade plan that it's running. So this trade plan is called 100 Sim Strat Candle Pattern. So we can expand any of these that are in a trade, and you can see that now in this case, there's two charts. There's a chart on the left and a chart on the right. The chart on the left is the candles and in this case we're looking at 1 minute candles. And I'm sorry, things keep jumping around as I'm talking, but that's because trade plans are opening and closing, opening and closing. And the only ones that you can see the chart on are the ones that I've opened or expanded. I can expand all. Now they're all open. But still pay attention to the green outline versus the white outline. So right now there are 3 open positions and the rest are waiting for another trigger. So these things play out very fast. Part of that is because our simulated data is really kind of crazy. It moves really fast. But anyway, I started to say there's the underlying stock chart on the left, and then on the right is the option, well, it's the position chart. So in this case, we are trading stock. So we're trading shares. If we were trading options, then this price axis would be the price of the option that we're in, as opposed to the price of the stock. Because we're trading stock, they both have the same y-axis. They're both showing the same price. But you'll see a bid, an ask, and a last. And so that's the blue line here is the last, and then here's the bid, and here's the ask. Now, what you'll notice is, I think my browser can't handle all the data, so I have to refresh it periodically. So the server's fine, it's just that the browser just gets overwhelmed by all this crazy amount of simulated data. It doesn't happen that way with a live market. Okay, so I have to go back to status order, and I need to... Oh, and part of it is because I expand. When I expand everything, it gets overwhelmed by how many candles there are. Every tick of every one of these stocks. The browser just chokes on it after a while. Anyway, what was I saying? I was going to try and explain the trade plan. See the green lines and the red lines? These are the trade plan in action. So the trade plan is programmed, and when I say programmed, this for a user to do this, they don't do any programming. They just fill out a form. So for example, if I load up, wait, is it not? Oh, 100 sim, sorry. I'm a little nervous. I haven't done this kind of thing before. So anyway, if I load this, then we can see what the trade plan is made of. So you can see that it's designed to go either long or short. The quantity basis is trading quantity, where you could trade quantity basis of dollars. So I do that usually during my day trading. I want to trade the same size position no matter what I'm trading, whereas here I'm just doing 10 shares. The data source is simulated, and the brokerage is simulated, and the account is sim. Let's see, there are some things here I'm not going to get into now. It's just kind of too much. We're using the trade plans are repeating, so you notice that they open, they close, and then they start looking again for another trigger. So this just runs indefinitely. We could set a max loss or a max number of trades. So there are different ways that you can filter or limit how much the trading will happen. And you can see that the instrument is stock. If I selected option, then there would be all kinds of other things involved in selecting which contract. So for example, I could just automatically trade the first option in the money, or the first option, the first strike in the money or out of the money. And then I can add filters so that, like, I don't want to trade over a 5% spread, or I can actually put the spread in cents. And then I can also limit the price or the number or the cost, the dollar range. So all of these different ways that you can set up a trade plan that will follow your rules without you having to be there. And then we can also select just tightest spread. If you don't want to do just one strike in the money or out of the money, you can select other criteria and it'll then choose from the ones that you've said are acceptable, it'll choose the tightest spread, meaning of all the options that I've said are good, I'm happy to trade, it'll choose the best of those at that moment. Okay? But anyway, we are trading stock. Now, we have a number of different setups that we can trade automatically, and I will add that you can also trade, you can trigger from TradingView. So TradingView can actually be the source of your setup, and you can use whatever indicators you want in TradingView. Just send an alert to Trade Unafraid, and your Trade Unafraid server will then open the trade based on that rather than based on one of our setups. But we have a variety of setups like bouncing off a price or breaking of a price, different kinds of, here's bouncing off of an exponential moving average. I'm not going to cover all of these now, but anyway, the candle pattern is the one that we're doing. We're doing it looking at 1 minute candles. And as I showed you before, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 2, 2 down, 2 up, or 2 up, 2 down. Any of those, if satisfied, will trigger an entry. And then we have different entry tactics. So you can have a market order, a limit order, or a candle break. Candle break is interesting because think about if you had you wanted to bounce off of an EMA. So say you're looking for a bounce off of the 9 EMA on the 15-minute chart. The thing is, you don't necessarily know that you want to enter just blindly when price touches that EMA. So you can use, rather than a market order or limit order, you can use a candle break, which will then look for confirmation. So, for example, if I say candle break, then I can say that I want to enter, say, 10 contracts on a 1 minute candle duration. What that means is, once price touches the EMA, we now start looking for a candle break to confirm that price is going in the direction of your entry. So if we come down and touch an EMA, then we will not enter until price breaks the high of the prior 1 minute candle. And that's what this is saying here. So I hope you followed that. It would be easier to show an illustration, but it's a way to confirm that not just the price touched your EMA, but that price is now moving back in the direction so you want to be long. Okay? And then we have a ton of exit tactics of different kinds. And what's very cool about this in Trade Unafraid is you can combine all of these exit tactics. They will all work together. So you can create targets to take profits, and you can create a variety of ways to move your stop. So and they can all coexist, even though you are potentially, if you have 5 different stop tactics of different kinds, you might have a candle trail and an ATR trail and an MFE retracement. MFE is maximum favorable excursion, which is kind of like a trailing stop, but it is it's geared. So maybe you want to protect 40% of the maximum move. So you want to give it the trade room to breathe, but you also want to protect some amount of your gains. All of these would never work together in the exchange, if you send it to as an order, because A, they're dynamic, and B, they conflict. If you have 10 shares, then you can't have exits that equate to 30 or 40 shares. But with Trade Unafraid, it manages all of these different conflicting or contradictory orders, and it will just exit when whichever one gets triggered first. So I hope that's clear, but anyway, it's a very powerful way to have multiple stops based on different things, and you'll just get out when one of them triggers. So what's in this trade plan that's running in the background is we have a 1 minute candle trail, and then we have ratchet bracket. And ratchet bracket is kind of like an OCO bracket where, one cancels the other, so you have a target and a stop. But what's so cool about a ratchet bracket is that they account for partial positions, and it basically moves your stop up with each time you hit a target. So in this case, we're looking for a gain of 20 cents. We have a stop of 20 cents, and we're bracketing 25% of your position. So if you enter 10, then obviously 25% is 2.5, so it gets rounded. But you will take your first profit at a 20 cent gain, and the stop price will then move up to break even, and then you'll take the next profit at 40 cents, and that'll be on the next 25%, and your stop then moves up again. And you can also trail, now we're not doing that in this particular trade plan, but keep in mind everything here is configurable, and everything is you can include or exclude whatever you want. So you can make any kind of trade plan you want using all of these different tactics. There's also position tactics for scaling in and adding to a winner. I don't usually use those, but there are people who do. So that is the basis for what's running here. And let's see what's happened so far. So we're up $647. Now I know this is simulated data. It doesn't, it doesn't really count. But something to keep in mind here is the reason that it's profitable is because we have a trade plan that takes advantage of small stops and we're not even letting runners run the way we should. I really should have a trail in there instead of taking off 25% 4 times and being done. I think the P&L would be much better if I just let it trail. I probably will do that. And maybe I'll even do it during this live. But anyway, you can see we've made 716 trades, and we can slice and dice the data in a variety of ways. If we look just at trade plan templates, then there's only one kind running, and so it accounts for all of the results. If we look at trade plans, then this is actually the individual trade plans combined with the stock. This could be better. Here we're looking purely at underlying. So if you had different kinds of trade plan templates all running, but you had some running on SPY and some on the Qs and some on Tesla or Apple, you would then be able to see just overall what's the performance by symbol as opposed to trade plan. Symbol here would be actually the option symbols as well. So underlying, rolls up all the different options to just the underlying symbol, whereas symbol here would be individual calls or puts. And then here, position means every single trade. So there are 729 trades so far. There would be 729 different results in here because each one was a different position. Okay, so, and then here's all the executions. And, since there were 729 trades, there's going to be, approximately 2 to 5 times that many executions. I should say at this point, every user of Trade Unafraid gets their own server, so you're not sharing any infrastructure with anybody else. You have your own data stream, your own CPU, your own memory, and you run all your own trade plans on your own server. And your server will actually run whether you have the browser open or not. So you can set things up and then go to work, and it'll just trade. And you can log in on any browser and see how it's doing. So I can't pause anything because this is running like the real market. But let's see if we can catch the next trade and talk about what's going on. I'm looking for the lines. I'm not sure why we don't see lines. There you go. Here they come. I think sometimes part of it may be because I'm doing this live, and so I'm running on a Mac Mini, and the fan is going pretty hard. So I may be stressing the whole machine out, but also I think the browser is pretty overwhelmed because we've been running for a while. Actually, you know what? Let me try refreshing, and that should hopefully give us a fresh start in the browser. It just takes a sec for it to download everything again. All right, so now we got to go back to, see, I can sort these in various ways. Right now you can see A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, all the way down through S, SPY, T, and all the way to Z. So that's sorted by symbol. I can sort by creation date. SPY was actually the first one I created. And then, actually, I don't know if you noticed, but in this trade plan, I actually have multiples of each. So I have this comma separated list of symbols, so it actually creates 5 trade plans for A, and 5 for B, and 5 for C, so all the way through the whole alphabet. And then because I wanted to do this live, I actually closed 4 of each of them. So apparently I think I closed the B's before the A's because the A's were in a trade, something like that. And I couldn't close it when it was in a trade. Template will sort by the actual type of template. You can see all these are 100 sim, strat, candle pattern, except this SPY one is candle pattern sim long. So, but I'm sorting by status, which brings the ones that are in a position to the top, and the ones that are not stay below it. So now I can expand everything, and now we can see the lines in a trade. So you can see the green lines are those targets set by the ratchet bracket. So this is 20 cents up from the entry price, and this is 20 cents down from the entry price. So there's your 20-cent loss and your 20-cent gain, and they're actually, okay, so here's unrealized profit and here's realized profit. And we ended up, I guess, stopping out. Hopefully we'll catch it in the act, so we can talk about it. And by the way, I just want to be clear. This thing where you're not seeing the candles and all that, it's not like that when it's running live. It stays real time. I don't know whether it's because of the YouTube live or if it's because of the amount of load on my machine, but it's not like this when I trade every day. All right, so here's a bunch of open trades. Yeah, the browser's really having a hard time keeping up. Here's a target. No, that's not. What's going on? Yeah, the demo gods are not smiling on me right now, because you can see this says we're in positions in T and E. Here's A, There's G and M. Those are green, P, but we're not, this is not catching up. Uh, um, yeah, I'm sorry. I think the lines were showing up better earlier in the live, and I don't know, something's getting. Oh, here we go. And it's gone. um, by the way, these buttons apply to all trade plans. So, for example, here's a great example. If you're trading live and you have trade plans waiting for a setup, and then um, let's say news comes out, or they release something at 2 p.m. Eastern, you could pause all your trade plans and then see it says paused, paused. Now you can't trade a trade plan in a position, but pause will prevent you from entering something that will, so if the market has a moment of volatility that you want to not get in on, then you can just pause and then you can unpause. And that, so you can pause individual trade plans. This pauses all or unpauses all. You can also cancel all your trade plans. Again, that does not apply to positions that are already open. If you want to do that, then you click flatten, and that will actually close all your positions and cancel all your pending trade plans. And then collapse and expand are purely cosmetic. It's just, if I collapse them all, then they just become this view. And you can tell the difference between one that's in a position and one that's not, because this has pause and cancel and manual enter long and enter short, whereas here I can actually manage my position. So, it just closed just as I was saying that. But you get buttons so that you can just sell 10% or 25% or flatten, or you can actually specify individual counts for the open and close buttons. So see, if I click quantity, I can say I want to open 2 and click it, or I can say I want to close 2 and click it. Here you can see, oops, there was an unrealized P&L and a realized P&L. So let's see. Yeah, well, one other thing that I wanted to point out is that I can manually enter, even though it hasn't triggered. I can just say, all right, I want to be in this thing. I want to get long, and so I manually entered that one long, and then the trade plan picks up from there. So because I entered manually, that doesn't matter. The exit tactics still kick in and manage the whole trade. So we've got our candle trail and we've got our ratchet bracket, and they're all doing their thing, even though I did the entry manually. And that works the same if you kick off a trade plan from TradingView or some other software that can send a webhook. What else? These trade plans go so fast I can barely talk about them. You can manually enter a limit order or market order here. You just specify a quantity and a limit, and then you can click, in this case, in this case, we're not in a position yet. So let me see if I can show you here. See, we have buy to open or sell to close, and that's because we're long. If it was a short position, then it would be sell to open and buy to close. So here you can see we hit a target, we hit another target. So here's the realized position. realized profit and loss, and you can see the quantity changing as we sell parts of the position. And as I said, I think one of the flaws in this trade plan is that it doesn't have a runner. It just takes off 25% 4 times at equal distances of 20 cents. So that really caps the profit for this trade plan. And I really should just let that last bit run and use the candle trail as and actually the ratchet bracket can trail as well. The way ratchet bracket works is once you've hit all the specified targets and then you have a trailing position, it'll still continue to ratchet your stop up by that same 20 cents every time price moves up another 20 cents, the stop will ratchet up another 20 cents. So you are still protecting a large part of what you've gained. There's no target on the other side. So it's not an OCO bracket in that way anymore because it's not taking a profit, but it is still ratcheting up the stop. Here you can see one that's actually playing out. And you can see that stop ratchet down. But this I think is the last position. Yeah, so it's flat. Okay, I feel like I have thrown so much information at you. Let's see, we're up $836 on 909 trades. So hopefully you get an idea for how this all works. Do not get hung up on the setup I'm using or the exit tactics I'm using. Keep in mind that there are a variety of exit tactics that you can use and a variety of setups you can use, so you can trade your way. When I day trade, I'm actually in 2 different trading rooms in the mornings, and I set them up using Trade Unafraid. They're completely different management from what I'm showing here. They're completely different setups, and what it allows me to do is juggle many positions at the same time, and I don't have to worry about it. A lot of the entries are based on bouncing off a price, and I can just set it up, and I don't have to be there. I don't have to worry about managing that. And keep in mind, when I'm trading options, see this is an important thing. I'm trading options, but I'm entering based on a bounce of the price of the stock or the ETF. So you can't do that easily in other trading platforms. I mean, yeah, in Thinkorswim, I know you can set up a conditional order, but it can be pretty painful. It's time consuming to set up that condition and then say, okay, now I want to place an order to buy an option. And you don't know what the option price is going to be at that moment. Trade Unafraid does all that for you. So you get to enter the option based on the price of the stock without a lot of it's very easy to do it, and you get to specify which option you're going to trade, and that's dynamic. So if you think about it, if you're trading in the money and you say you're bouncing off of an EMA and you have that candle break, you don't know which strike is going to be in the money at the time that actually finally says, okay, it's time to be in. But the software handles that for you just by saying, you just say, I want to buy the strike that's in the money at the moment that it triggers, and it'll figure that out. So there's a whole lot more, but I've shown you so much that you're probably overwhelmed already. But there are many features here. It's very powerful, and I hope you'll consider using it. Okay? Thank you for being here. I hope this worked well. I hope that all the technology worked, and I'm going to stop streaming now. Go to tradeunafraid.com. Oh, golly. I forgot there's a whole nother piece that I wanted to cover. So I started to sign off, and now I'm going to go into something completely different. We have the ability to download or export your trade history. So let's see, if I say I want today's trade history, the server is very busy, so I'm not sure how long it'll take for this to populate. But yeah, it may take a while because it's so busy. It's not only running all the trade plans, it's also simulating all the data. And now I've asked it to export every one of these trades, and actually all the fills, all the orders and fills. So this could take a while. But this is how you export the data, and then we have this data analysis tool that I hopefully there's some stuff I can show you from old data, but we calculate based on the trade. These are different trade plans I've been testing with. We can calculate the expectancy. We have the win rate. We have the average win size, average loss size, and the win-loss ratio. And then we can slice and dice this data in various ways. So here we're looking at it not by trade plan but by symbol. So here I can, let's see. I haven't loaded data, so I can't interact with it the same way. I'm just trying to give you a taste for this right now. I'm not trying to do a full demo of it. But this is time of day on the x-axis, and then this is realized P&L. So you can see these big winners and big losers. This is actually color-coded by symbol. Here's the colors here. Now here's a heat map showing showing here's symbols on the bottom and trade plans on the y-axis, and then the color maps the actual P&L. So green is winners and this magenta is losers. You can see IWM does not perform anywhere near as well as SPY does, at least for the trade plans I'm using. I'm sure there are other trade plans where it would work extremely well. Here, this is just a narrowed down version of that. And then here, yeah, I didn't think these would be here. I have all these line charts showing cutting the data in different ways. Yeah, I'll have to do another demo with where I actually load the data. This one's interesting. This shows the performance by day. So each candle is a day. So here, let me get to SPY because I've got that's IWM. I've accumulated a lot of data. I've been doing this since 2023 started, so I have over a year's worth of data. Let me get down to SPY. Here we go. Okay, so each candle is a day, and so each candle is the P&L, the profit and loss for that day, and it actually shows you the open, the high, the low, and the close of that day's P&L. So, because one of the things that I want to know when I'm analyzing these, these different trade plans is, can I actually live with it? Like, if a trade plan makes huge losses like this, I'm not going to be able to tolerate it for many days. It's like, who needs that kind of drawdown? And then the blue line is the cumulative gain. So this is the y-axis for the candles, and then over here is the y-axis for the blue line. So actually down here is 0. You can see that it didn't go very negative. I mean, it went negative about 4,500, but then it finished at 70,000, and that goes from the very beginning of 2023 all the way through like the end. Oh no, into February. Yeah, and I have data since then. I just haven't loaded it. So, one of the interesting things that I'm looking into is, can I predict early in the day whether I should abandon this trade plan on this symbol for this day? Because you can see what's really interesting is most of these look like haramis, where it starts low and it closes near the top, or it starts high and it closes near the bottom. So that kind of leads me to believe that I could predict pretty early from just a few trades whether I should just, if I've got 2 or 3 losers in a row, maybe I cut it off, and that would make the cumulative line even better. There are very few where you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Here's kind of the kind of thing that I'm worried about cutting off, where it went down pretty low, but then it came back and finished high. Here's one that went really high and then closed barely positive. So, those are the kinds of things that I don't want to avoid losses to the extent that I blow my gains. So, but that's what I'm analyzing is, can I tell from the first few trades whether I should just stop that system for that day. So anyway, there's a lot more to the data analysis than just this. There's all kinds of, I get into the actual contents of the trade plan where I can compare one trade plan to another based on the parameters of that trade plan. So, what I'm saying is, like, for example, if you had one ratchet bracket that had trailing and another one that didn't, then I want to be able to compare those to see which one's performing better. It's easy to think that the one that leaves a runner would be better, but you never know in practice which way it's going to go. So there's kind of like no end to the amount of analysis we can do. Here's some Chat GPT analysis where we actually feed it data. We feed it the same data that we're analyzing in code, and then we can interrogate Chat GPT and see what it can tell us. And that's near the bottom. But I mean, this is ongoing R&D, so this is going to just keep improving. So anyway, that still hasn't loaded. This is still running. So before I sign off, let's just take a look here. Yeah, so we're close to 1,000 now. It's up 958. It's over 1,000 trades. So I know we're running on simulated data, so it's easy to be very skeptical. I completely understand that. But I do believe that if you make a trade plan that has the right risk and reward parameters, you can win in live markets. So that's what my assertion about this performance is that, this isn't just random trading. The data is random, meaning the market data is random, but the trade plan does have a method to the madness that is, looking for taking a quick win, getting safe so that you can't lose, and then trying to grow those gains. And so, there is a bias for bigger wins and smaller losses, and that does lead to positive expectancy. And that's what all that data analysis was about on the other page. So, okay. If you are interested and you have any questions, please send an email to support@tradeunafraid.com. That's support@tradeunafraid.com, and we would be happy to answer your questions, or you know, well, answer your questions. Okay. Thank you for sitting through this. I hope it was worthwhile, and I will be signing off now. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually see a question. Hey, it's great to see you. I don't know if you're still here. Um, right now, we have a single broker. Wait. Your streams. Okay. We have a single brokerage. We support Tradier. Tradier is they're a little, yeah, great. I'm happy to see you're still here. They're a little spotty on non-U.S. accounts, like, or countries. Some of them that I know we support are France, Belgium, the Netherlands. I think that's all that I think we've had subscribers from, other than the U.S. Can you tell me what country you're in, if you don't mind? I may know and I may not. Australia. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Yeah, I don't know what it is. They don't seem to support Australia, England, Canada. It's like they have something against the against Great Britain. I'm not sure what the deal is. We hope to support Alpaca. Yeah, I'm aware of them. It's just implementing another API. Yes, I definitely want to support them. It's just it's a big job, so we are gonna do that. Hopefully this year, but unfortunately it's not available today. Yeah, I'm sorry. I would love to accommodate you, and we're gonna expand for sure. I'm excited. Tradier's adding futures very soon, but even that is going to require some work to support futures. So there's a lot of software in in this product, so it's going to take some time to expand it. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say so. I'm very proud of it, and I'm so happy that you're here and that I didn't do this alone. And I'm just sorry that you're in a country that I can't help you right now, but we will get there. And so thank you for your interest. Yeah, yeah. I wish. You and I both wish. Yeah, so hopefully soon. Hang in there. Get on our mailing list. I mean, there's a on the website you can sign up for the course so that you can learn how to use it, and you'll definitely be included. So as things develop, we'll let you know. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yep. As soon as possible. Q2 if we can do it. So we'll see. All right. Well, thanks a lot. And I don't know if you're the only one here, but thank you for being here. And I may do this again next week. All right. Take care. Have a great weekend. Oh, you're in Australia. It's probably Monday morning for you. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.